Welcome everyone to Quick Tips Episode 4 Remastered. In this episode I'm going to be showing you how to add color to your old black and white photos. So the first thing we need to do is we need to grab our lasso tool and then just make a rough selection around the area that we want to colorize. In this case I'm going to be making a selection around her dress. And you see I'm not really being precise about this. You don't really have to be when you're using this method because we're going to be using layer masks, and you can always go back in and touch up the areas that you either missed or that you kind of went outside the line, so to speak. And it's just, a really quick way to do your selection like that. So the first thing we need to do to start adding our color in is come over here to the layers palette and choose Hue and Saturation Adjustment Layer. In this dialog box we're just going to click on Colorize, and you see it automatically pops in a little bit of color to our old photo there. And you can see in the layers palette there's our layer mask for us to edit when we get done here. So I'm just going to move my slider a little bit over into the green. I'm going to desaturate it a little bit and click OK. Now there's one problem with this. As you can see, her hands are green. So the first thing we need to do is get rid of that green color cast in her hands. So in order to do that, I'm just going to make sure that I have my layer mask selected, and I'm going to hit the B key on my keyboard to invoke the brush tool. And then I'm just going to come in here, making sure my foreground color is set to black, and I'm going to paint over her hands. And anywhere I paint with black, it's going to hide that hue and saturation adjustment layer and bring back that nice little tone that she had in her hands. Alright, so that's a little bit on how to add color to your clothing and stuff like that inside of an old photo. Now comes the hard part, and that would be getting the skin tones correct. So the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to make a little rough selection of his face, and when I say rough I mean it's going to be a little bit bad at first, but that's okay because, as you know, we're working with layer mask, so it's going to be okay. So next, what I want to do, come down once again, hit the hue and saturation adjustment, and I'm going to click colorize again. Now you see he's kind of red, almost looks like he's a little embarrassed here, but now you just kind of play around until you get something along the lines of what you want here. It doesn't have to be real saturated because this is an old photo, so you can bump down the saturation and it looks even better. I'm just going to kind of leave it like that for now. You can actually play around and do like some gradients and all kinds of set color points. But this is just a basic way to start colorizing your photos. And then when you're done, you might have an image that looks something like this. So you see here on my layers palette all of my hue and saturation adjustment layers that I have here. Every time I switch to a color, I created a new hue and saturation adjustment layer. So anytime that you're working in a photo like this, anytime you want to switch to a different color in an area, always add a new hue and saturation adjustment layer. So that's it for this episode of Quick Tips. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and please look forward to the other remastered episodes coming real soon. Thanks very much. We'll see you next time.